If you're a man, she only misses you when you see 12 signs. It's funny how life works sometimes. You go through your days, weeks, months, maybe even years, thinking that you're doing just fine without her. You convince yourself that you're better off without her, that you don't need her in your life. But then, out of nowhere, something happens. You see a sign, and suddenly, all those feelings you thought you had buried deep down inside come rushing back to the surface. The first sign is when you hear that song on the radio, the one that you used to listen to together on long drives, the one that always made her smile. You find yourself singing along, the lyrics bringing back memories of lazy Sunday afternoons spent in each other's arms. And for a brief moment, you allow yourself to feel the pain of her absence. The second sign is when you pass by that restaurant where you had your first date. You remember how nervous you were, how you spilled your drink all over the table, how she laughed and told you it was okay. You can almost taste the food, feel the warmth of her hand in yours. And you realize just how much you miss her. The third sign is when you see a couple holding hands in the park. You watch as they walk side by side, laughing and talking, completely lost in each other. And you can't help but feel a pang of jealousy, wishing that it was you and her, that you were the one making her laugh, holding her close. The fourth sign is when you come across a photo of her on social media. She looks happy, radiant, surrounded by friends and family, and you wonder if she ever thinks about you, if she misses you the way you miss her. You resist the urge to reach out, to tell her how much you still care. The fifth sign is when you smell her perfume in a crowded room. It's a familiar scent, one that used to linger on your clothes long after she was gone. You close your eyes and inhale deeply, trying to hold on to the memory of her, to the feeling of being loved. The sixth sign is when you see her name written on a piece of paper. It's just a simple word, but it holds so much meaning for you. You trace the letters with your finger, remembering how her name sounded on your lips, how it felt to say it out loud. The seventh sign is when you dream about her at night. In your dreams, she's always just out of reach, a ghostly presence that haunts your every thought. You wake up feeling empty, longing for something you can't quite name. The eighth sign is when you hear her voice in a crowded room. It's like a siren's call, drawing you in, making your heart ache with longing. You turn around, hoping to catch a glimpse of her, but she's nowhere to be found. The ninth sign is when you see a movie that reminds you of her. It's a love story, a tale of lost and found, of second chances and new beginnings. You watch as the characters struggle to find their way back to each other, and you can't help but see yourself in their journey. The 10th sign is when you feel a sudden urge to call her. You pick up the phone, dial her number, but then you stop yourself. What would you even say? How could you explain the way you feel, the way she still holds a piece of your heart? The 11th sign is when you realize that you're still wearing the ring she gave you. It's a simple band, nothing fancy, but it symbolizes everything you once had together. You take it off, turning it over in your hands, wondering if she still wears hers. The 12th sign is when you see her with someone else. It's like a knife to the heart, a sharp pain that cuts through you. You watch as she smiles at him, as she leans in for a kiss, and you know that she's moved on, that she's found happiness without you. And so you're left with these 12 signs, these reminders of what once was and what could have been. You realize that she only misses you when you see these signs, when you're forced to confront the truth of your feelings, and you wonder if she ever thinks about you, if she ever misses you the way you miss her. But deep down, you know the answer. She's moved on, and it's time for you to do the same.